Hello, and welcome to Food in Art, a wonderful opportunity for you to get a taste of how two human concerns, nourishment and beauty, have blended together through the centuries to create masterpieces. I'm art historian Elizabeth Lev, and I hope that you'll enjoy these bite-sized pieces of fun, facts, faith, and beauty about food. Goes the cork in the oldest painting of a bottle of champagne in the history of art. Produced by Jean-François de Troye in 1735, the oyster lunch today resides in Château Chantilly outside of Paris. This amazing image, a rather large painting at that, shows a group of friends enjoying an oyster lunch. Champagne is flowing, and indeed, half the group is concentrated on the cork, which is captured as it's suspended in air after having been ejected from the bottle. We see the glasses, wider coupes for the enjoyment of champagne, but the subject focuses on those oysters. Oysters being brought in crates, shucked, and handed to the eager crowd. Jonathan Swift once wrote, "He was a bold man that first ate an oyster." And you must imagine that the very first time that someone looked at that briny piece of seafood inside a shell and decided to try it must have been something of a daring soul. But it turns out that oyster shells as a form of food have been discovered as far back as 164,000 years ago. In South Africa, in caves, in this area they call the origin of the world, they have found the remains of shells of oysters having been consumed, including little tools, sharpened tools, to be able to shuck them. Oysters have enjoyed a very long history of human consumption. At the time that Troye was painting this work, it is clear that oysters were a food for aristocrats. You can see the fine dress of the men, the servants, the beautiful hall, a space that clearly was meant to see oysters as a luxury, as a delicacy, and at the time, of course, also seen as an aphrodisiac. However, by the 19th century, oysters had become the food of the people. They were plentiful, they were inexpensive, and it was something that people could eat in large amounts. So the oyster went from being the aristocratic food to the food of the people. So the oyster, although for many an acquired taste, has featured in art from Romans all the way to the 18th century to today, where we can oftentimes see them photographed in the same way that the diarist Samuel Pepys liked to enjoy them, with a great deal of wine.